Camera speeding!
Sound speeds!
Welcome to the Urban Pebble podcast.
This is the best place to learn about making film in Chicago.
We've been making films for the last bunch of years and learning along the way, and we want to share what we've learned with you.
So we're bringing on people to share their journeys so you can learn with us in real time.
Let's make some films!
And action!
Welcome to the Urban Pebble podcast. I'm Adam Rabora.
And I'm Teresa Moore.
And today we have a very special guest with us, writer, actor, musician, Brian Davenport.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How's it going?
Yeah.
We're happy to have you. It's
I'm
so
happy.
exciting.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, well, so I guess to kick things off, we met you on the set of Human Condition, which
That's
was
right.
the Chicago 48-hour film project.
It sure was.
That was the one that we did with
Those
Molly
city
and Joe.
producers.
Yeah. Which was the how did you get to be a part of that?
Joe shot us an email. I think maybe the same way he reached out to a few other people and said, "Hey, we're working on this thing." And every time we do the 48, we have this internal debate because it is an amazing platform and opportunity. And at the end of it, you have a thing that never would have existed before. You can get everybody
Which is
together
cool.
and have that kind of like, let's put on a show. You know, the purity of what it is really cool. And then you get to the end, and the things that make it amazing are also the things that make it like
Tough.
Well, I would like to just plan something and do it meaningfully and not, like, did we get the? We didn't, and we can't. And all right. And so we've gone back and forth with that every year. And swore it off again, and then Joe reached out to us, and kind of the opportunity to meet new people.
Are we the new people?
We're the new people.
We're the new
and,
people. That's great.
Work with stuff, just trying to say yes to more things. And I think it went great.
Yeah, no, we made it through.
It's hectic. It's crazy when it's like a lot of different people, and especially like I think the 48 is a time where like you have your team and you're like, all right, we know how each other works. Let's do it real quick. And so that was a really interesting challenge where it was like no one knew quite how each other worked outside of like the few people that you knew.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of different styles, a lot of new things, a lot of things that you're like, oh, this is a communication barrier, or this is like, I'm just not used to working this way. Cool, I'll adjust. Or like, I think I found like new things I learned. I found a lot of like things that I'm like, okay, I would change that going forward. But like, it was fun to see a lot of different people at work in that way.
I liked it.
I agree. I think I've heard the two of you talk about this before. Is like we mostly work with my friends Joe and Nate. Call ourselves Flunky and Dangle. Miller's Crossing. And it was the things that kind of made me trepidatious about it were also the things that made it cool, because we were very like I've only ever really been on our sets until fairly recently with a couple of outliers, and kind of having like four distinct groups of people who are used to doing their own things. And everybody works differently, and like the way it all kind of like there were 7 people in that writer's room, which was
A lot of people.
a lot. And I jokingly pitched early on, like, well, if we all just write 1 minute each, and then one person stitches it together. But the wild thing too is we came out with like a fun, coherent story, and all 7 of the brains are represented in the final product. And the same thing happened with the shoot. It's like meeting. So the things that made it scary is also we kind of stepped outside our bubble, and met some new folks, and went on to make some more things.
Well, that's kind of interesting that you put it that way, because I do feel like a lot of the wonderful thing about filmmaking is the collaboration,
Right.
And like doing that. And so it is nice in the way that the producers 48 worked, where like you noted, there are like 4 groups of people that kind of came together to represent Chicago, to do the city thing. And it did create something that I would say that like each individual group would never have made solo.
Right.
And that's neat. Like that's a cool byproduct.
Yes.
So I like that.
It's like trying to trap, you ever just film a paper bag for like 25 minutes and talk about it?
That was one of my 48-hour films.
Yeah.
Just 28 minutes. Paper bag.
Something we're going to learn about me now. Sometimes I'll start a sentence and there's nothing. There's nothing there.
I was like,
and I
oh,
just did it.
He's got it.
He's got a dot, dot, dot.
I was definitely like, where are we going?
Dot, dot.
What is happening
Nobody
next?
knows. Not even
Okay.
me.
How long have you been doing the 48-hour film project? Like, what got you into it originally?
My friend Nate has been making them for 5 or 6 years. So we, Joe and I wrote a script for one. I think the first one we wrote a script for was 5 years ago, and the baseline idea, and we had never done a 48 before, and really never made a film in any meaningful way before. So we didn't have a sense of like parameters and structure. We just wrote like a really fun, I think it was like 12 pages long.
Oh, okay. So hefty.
There was like time jumping. there were many storylines. We sent it to him at 4 a.m. like, this is, whew, we really did it. And they called us the next morning and was like, we can't shoot this. So, but we shot something else. It turned out really well, and I was an actor in that one. And then we did it almost every year for a few years, and then on the side, filmed a web series of our own called The Odd Locale. Which kind of the Twilight Zone, but not
Okay.
The Odd Locale.
I know, I watched a handful of them. You had sent me the one where, was it like the Ballad of Alfred Pennyworth?
That's right.
It was-
That's right. Joe and I were roommates for a long time, and a lot of those sketches were just born out of us sitting on the couch and just doing bits. And then we wrote it down, and then rented a man's mansion, and Joe dressed up as Batman, and I worked on a Michael Caine, and then we made it.
It was great, and it's like all cinematic and in black and white,
Yeah.
and in the like I love that you played it so seriously with everything too, and then it's just this like Batman Alfred.
That's very fun.
Yeah.
That one, and I really loved the other one that really got me was the water guy one that was
Yeah.
like he's like serving water.
Silent movie is probably the best. Yeah. It is about a man who's at a party, and he's drinking a glass of water, and there's just a very like he's a real go-getter of a waiter, and whenever he just takes a sip of water, it's just right there to fill it up. And it's played like a very dramatic silent movie with really high stakes, and it really is just like, do you want some more water, sir?
That was really
Wow.
I cackled at the ending of it where you just like pour the guy some water, and then you like I think played it on a loop back and forth of like the water, so it just like is you staring at
Yes.
him and like pouring
Yeah.
water infinitely. It was
Amazing.
Yeah, I was Nate edited that one. That was all him, and yeah, he's
That's fun.
And then I'd also seen that because your 48-hour film Perfect was the winner, I remember, from
yeah.
a couple of years back, which was
tell
the
us
same
about-
time we did Trouble Clef.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the one they had. I always laugh because we did one about a choir, and we had filmed it at a church, and we had made some joke about the Presbyterian church next door.
And that's-
and the place where the finale was the Presbyterian church
yep.
next
Next
door
door.
to where we filmed.
That's funny.
And that was a funny little
a
thing.
world within a world.
Yeah, that was my first film screening in a church. Just,
Not mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Actually,
well,
wow.
yeah,
I had to think about that.
yeah, no.
all spaces are spaces. Yeah, it was
Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
you basically, what happened when you won Chicago? Because usually the way that the 48 Fest works is you win and then you go to like Filmapalooza.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to go to Filmapalooza in Lisbon.
Did you go?
We did go.
Wow.
And it was awesome.
Was it cool?
It was, I don't know, you heard it here first. Portugal's neat.
Nobody knows this.
If you like to travel, no, it was a really wonderful place. And the coolest thing about going to that was watching all of the films from around the world.
Right.
Because it's easy. It is easy to forget that we are part of the world around us. And the 48, as conceived and in practice, like teams from the United States are very well represented, but it is a deeply international film festival, and there's a lot of creativity.
That's really cool.
All over the place. And we saw some really, really incredible films that I still think about
Wow.
from time to time. So
That's got to be cool to be like just in a big venue with, you know, a bunch
International
of international
crowd.
filmmakers who are all kind of on the, I'm guessing, the same level of like, in various degrees, I'm sure, but like, you know, indie filmmakers and people doing this. And
yeah, it was very inspiring and also kind of pretty daunting.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's just such a big world, and there are so many different ways to worry about the same 5 things that we're all worried about. And seeing how that inflects in different places based on research. Like there was a co-production of, I think, the Netherlands and Germany that had 100 people on the crew, and they filmed it in both countries. There was a kung fu revenge film from France. The revenge was
Wow.
cheese-centric, so they were really leaning into it, and it was I highly recommend seeking that one out. It's so good. And then also just thinking about like why do we like to do this? What do we want to say? How do you get people to see it? Because that's something that we kind of keep running into, is we'll get things, and that's one of the things I like about the 48, but then also one of the built-in kind of boundaries of it is you get it up to a certain point, and then, you know, you have to tell people about it. You have to keep
Oh, yes.
like maintaining momentum.
the marketing aspect.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which isn't, well, they do a decent job because they put it in front of people, and then they put it in front of people again if it makes it to another level.
Yeah.
And then yet again, if you go to like the next step where you're in Filmapalooza land, and then potentially again, it's like if you're at Cannes and go to that particular iteration. So it's like the festival is like almost like a shortcut for marketing. This is like the instant gratification version of filmmaking in a way.
Right.
And so like that's cool that they've laid like a pipeline pathway. But you're right, because at some point, at any point along that process, if you're kicked off that track,
Sure.
then it's up to you to figure out what to do with
Yeah,
it.
and I think the hardest part I know we've found is there's a period where you can't really post it right away based on their rules. And then there's like, especially if you have SAG actors, there's specific
Permissions.
things and permissions you have to go through. So there is like you have all this hype and all this, we did a thing and it's on the screens, and then it'll be like a couple months later where you're like, and it's on YouTube now. Check it out, remember? And everyone's like, what?
No, we don't remember.
No.
That was...
The moment is
That's right. I mean, with the Odd Locale, we kind of, we did, kind of like you're doing with the 12 for 12, we set a date and was like, all right, we're going to film seven scripts, and it being about 80, 90 minutes of material total. We're going to rent a movie theater, and we're going to show it to people on this date. So
Wow.
I hope it's done by then. And we did it. We made it.
Nice.
That was a very cool night. And then we put everything up on YouTube. But then also learning about kind of how to share things with people, because we had shown it to people one time and then put it on the internet. That limits how we interact with festivals. So there's a lot of stuff in there that we're pretty proud of, that it kind of just has to stay where it is. and we have to make more, and that's not a bad problem to have.
No, it's a funny balance because we've come into a lot. Like Urban Pebble is what we started as a film collective, and like the Spark Notes version is that we. Teresa had made a short film. I had made a short film with another filmmaker, Miles Strong Austin, and we were like, are we gonna all make film production companies or something? What if we just all put it under one hat? And then it was like figuring out like film festivals, figuring out like supporting each other, hopping on new projects, but then. Like there's the piece of it that's like you want it to be out at film festivals and like go have it seen. And we started it weirdly like right before COVID, so it was like we were doing film fest circuits
hard.
and we couldn't go to any of them, so it was like cool. We got a nice laurel emailed to us.
It was like 30
fests
fests that we were unable to attend or became virtual, and it was like. It was kind of a disappointing way to start.
Yeah. And then there is like the weird part of like you take like this film that's doing well in fests and stuff, and then you put it on YouTube, and it's like a very different energy and different algorithms and like mindset, and you're like, oh, that like one I did a not through 48, but there was a 48-hour film project adjacent. That was like do something in your home, and we had done one called Scoped Out, which was a very silly one where I befriend a sniper who is trying to kill me, but I basically befriend the little red dot and like hang out with it like after it, and it was super fun, and it got into like a Brazilian film fest and got like thousands of views on Vimeo. It was like a whole part of this thing, and I was like, oh, this is crazy, and then we put it on like YouTube, and it was like 30 views, and I was like,
oh.
All right, that's different. That's
yeah, you just
and
have no right.
It's such a different way, and it like changes how you feel sometimes about it. I don't know. It's a weird mind game, and like figuring out those rhythms of what works like, best in certain places.
The tiers of festivals, like the awards festivals versus like the ones that are fancy. You know, like where do you want your work to go in that spectrum of fest? Like all of that was such a learning curve for us in terms of like. It's a mix. It's a balance, right? Every film should have its own little journey, or every project should have its journey. And then it's like, but what is the journey of this film? And we've been talking about things that are like going straight to YouTube, right? Like we've been experimenting with like, this one is not film festival destined. It is destined to try to see how it does on this algorithm. Like that's its whole purpose, is to just experiment with that. And like having these moments where you're like, this is kind of like really cool art and we're really proud of it, and like it kind of deserves a little bit of a film fest run, and so we're trying to figure out this balance. It's a lot of balancing.
Yeah, the how and the infrastructure of that side of it has I've just always been the part that I don't maybe nobody likes it. Like, there's a lot of like complaining about like, I don't want to do that, but you know, but you do have to. You have to tell people about yourself, and you have to, you know, continue to make things. And every time you make a thing, you learn something from it. The 48 we did in December, I learned so much. And I'm grateful for every experience. I think the coolest moment that the 48 has given me personally so far was in 2024. Our 48 was the first thing I directed. It was called Darling the Constable, and that year was the first year they brought it back to the Music Box. First year that Joe and Molly were so at the best of screening. Just watching anything at the Music Box.
It's so delightful.
With a full house. And it was kind of a horror comedy. So, you know, you know how you think your thing is going to play. You know what you hope for.
And
then
context.
You watch a few hundred strangers take it in, and the ooh and the ah, like they got him. And that part of it is still like obviously you want as many people as possible to see the thing, but that communal, especially right now, that communal, watching a thing together. This is not a deeply profound thought, but it is nice, and I like it also.
It's really cool. It's fun because I think it changes how things are perceived and how you enjoy a film. I always compare. My sister is a winemaker, and she will often talk about how wine is not just like the bottle. Like you can have just like the nice bottle that tastes good and it like reaches this, but it's also like the experience you have it with, where like, did you have this over like a really fun dinner? Did you have this while you were out drinking? Did you have this in a very pristine, beautiful nature setting with like someone you care about, and like all those things tie into the bottle and the story of it and all that, and then how you feel about it. And I think like, we had recently talked about the film Hundreds of Beavers.
I was just going to say, that just
one
makes
of my
me think.
favorite movies. But it is definitely one that's harder to show to people on a TV, where you're like, oh, let's like, I'll show it, and people will be like, okay, it's kind of good. And then if you've seen it at the Music Box, and it is the most raucous party, everyone's laughing, it's the funniest movie in existence, and it like changes based on the venue, based on the experience. It's like not, film isn't just this like isolated commodity that is, you can be like, oh, this is just 10 points or 5 points or something. It's like, this is great in this setting. It's terrible in this setting. I love this with my friends. I hated watching it with my parents.
When I saw Hundreds of Beavers, it was the entire time I was like, man, this would be really good to see with a large group of people. And the Music Box is always showing it at midnight, and I don't like that I'm old enough that that's a real conversation I have with myself, but here we are.
Austin, who is behind the camera there, him and I went and saw it at like a 10 o'clock showing. So they do exist.
Yeah.
They are great.
Yeah. One of my favorite communal experiences at the Music Box was they were showing Eraserhead. I've seen Eraserhead 3 times. First time was in college doing the like, let's see what this David Lynch guy's all about, the thing. Do you like film? Do you like film?
Leave your comments below.
And at age 20, mesmerizing. Do not know what's going on. 10 years later, watch it again. The like darkness really kind of kicked in a full house at the Music Box, and I'm usually alone laughing at things that nobody else is laughing at. I'm usually that guy. Eraserhead struck me as one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and the rest of the room, which was really into it, did not feel that way.
Wow, so you had like a solitary experience in a group of people.
And I laugh like Mozart.
No!
It's a real.
Oh no! Okay, so then you just watched it yet again. It was those are the two.
Those
contrasting.
were the 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I think it definitely ties into that, like, as a filmmaker, how do you want your film to be seen? And sometimes those, like, seeing it with a crowd of people, and especially like you'll find like I know like going to a film festival live is where you get like the biggest reactions, and sometimes it's not where you want, sometimes it is, sometimes you're like, I'm a genius, sometimes you're like, I'm an idiot for this, but
sometimes you're just like, that was where they laughed.
Yeah,
right.
That was the funny
didn't
part.
know that was a joke.
Oh,
but
good to know.
Thank you.
But it's fun. Well, and like in that, because it's like it's the experience of like where are you taking the audience, and like sometimes I know like we were part of a thriller movie, and a while back that like we got to see in a film fest, and we'd seen it like 10 times by that point, and didn't realize it was scary at all, and like seeing an audience just be like, oh my gosh,
Oh. Goodness.
It's really fun. Yeah. And the other fun one was we recently shot Try That Again, in which you were the lead actor and
playing an actor.
Playing an actor. Spoilers. But it is that one specifically was written with a lot of twists in what you expect going on. And I did end up getting a lot of like really good feedback from people, and everyone like there was a twist here and there was a twist and I didn't see that, like, oh, and I thought it would go in this direction. And they're even, because it opens up on a cop monologue. And the one that shocked me the most was a lot of people didn't know there was going to be another person in the room. Like, that was the first twist, I was told. Which I was like, oh, I didn't even think about, like, because we just have you talking kind of to camera-ish before you address Ilsa's character. And yeah, I was just like, oh, I didn't expect that. And they're like, oh, so now I'm into it more. And then it's like the big twist that it's a audition, and people were like, whoa. But it was very fun because it was a fun, different take to like try and specifically lead audience members down a certain path, which I think
which I think you did brilliantly.
Yeah.
Because I do think you like bring people in to this like world that, you know, Adam, you wrote and directed and like made, and then it's sort of like a cat and mouse thing, like a little like dee dee, and then we have like Ilsa's character come in and be like. And then, it's kind of like she knocks that glass off the table, and you're like, and then I like your reset. Like you like had this physicality where you literally like you like took it, and I was like, oh, the power dynamics, they really read nicely.
I mean, all credit to her. I kept myself out. I don't go out for auditions a lot, very much. Partially out of a like a reticence to have that exact experience. So kind of playing through the worst case scenario of it with
pretty good.
Cameras and sound, and then writing the music for it was cathartic, and it was super cool to be a part of.
You might have just heard us talking about it, but Teresa and I are part of Film in a Bag Productions, and we are doing the 12 for 12 filmmaking challenge, where we make 12 films in 12 months. We are dropping one film a month on YouTube at Film in a Bag Productions. We are also doing behind the scenes videos for each film, so you get to hear from the director and about the experiences of making each of the films. It's super fun. There's a bunch of different artistic styles that go into it, and we're having a blast. Go check it out. You can see Try That Again with Brian. That Brian. It's great.
This is empty.
They're all rolling.
Everything's an illusion.
You finished your tea.
I did.
That was the first podcast that I was on. They had given me a LaCroix can to drink, and I definitely had it like finished it by like the first 10 minutes, and I just like kept like nervous habit.
Yeah.
You just love it's just props. You need them.
This is not a good story. Here we go. Once upon a time, I was watching the director's commentary for Liar, Liar.
Oh.
And Tom Shadyac said, this scene really wasn't working. And then we put a coffee cup in Jim Carrey's hand, and everything just came alive. And then he talked about that for a long time.
Wow.
So
you're welcome for the
it's
tea.
It's not all,
This is your Liar, Liar.
Arts and crafts.
All right. Should we go back to Try That Again?
Yeah.
Should we try that again?
Let's try that again. All right. So Try That Again, we've mentioned a couple times as part of the 12 for 12, which is our film production company trying to make 12 short films in 12 months and some behind the scenes videos, and it has been an undertaking, but Try That Again was the first one that we did.
Was that the first film that we shot of the year?
Yeah.
Of the very first one. So you were part of 12 for 12.
Pilot.
Day
project.
Day one.
Yes.
Shoot day one.
Which was like January 2nd. 3rd.
Yeah.
We filmed that whole weekend. I remember just like everyone else
3rd,
is like,
4th,
all right,
and 5th.
you're hanging out, getting slowly back into the year. And we're like, we're 3 films in. We got
It's like, hello.
I'm very impressed. And also the way I just like it nice. The way he ran that set, somewhere like an hour out, you thought you had N amount of time, and then discovered that it was actually about an hour and a half to 2 hours less time than you thought.
Yeah.
And we still got everything, and you played it pretty cool. And
know.
it's deeply.
Adam's a cool director.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a cool guy.
Thank-
He
oh,
can
thank
keep
you.
it chill under
No,
pressure.
I think we've been on enough sets of, and it like as we've talked about, I think it's a film is the balance of logistics and creativity, and so you have all these ideas and this wonderful stuff, and then at some point it becomes like, oh, is it scheduling? Does someone have to go? Does someone have to?
Yeah.
Are we out of this space? Is
Yeah.
the camera gonna not work
Run out
anymore?
of battery.
Do we like? And then it's just how. I think the biggest thing any filmmaker can do, in my opinion, is be able to pivot. And the better you can do that and just like calmly figure out a solution to whatever it is, that is half of filmmaking.
It's people say it a lot. Is the parameters are the thing that creates the most creativity. The one thing that I directed, we were the day was where it was. And we were about to lose the space, and there was like a page and a half of dialogue to shoot, and we had 3 different shots planned for it, and we had about 45 minutes. So we just pivoted to this like handheld out of focus thing, and it is far and away the coolest shot in the whole movie. And it's like right in the centerpiece, and it's right when the first person dies, and not on the shot list, not something any of us would have thought of. And also like the way everyone, like when you can get everybody on board with that kind of improvisation, and everyone's like really excited, like, ooh, cool, like I'm doing it. Yeah, it was that's why we do it.
Yeah.
I always think that like for the high stakes stuff with like we're running out of a thing, we're losing a thing. It's whoever can just like have the plan, like kind of wins the day in a way, where you're like, no, this is how we're gonna do it. And a lot of people are like, oh, thank goodness you have a plan.
Or at the very least communicate
Yeah, like, yeah.
that sense of serenity.
Right,
to,
because it is sort of like the
like,
Zen master in the face of chaos. In like, because like there are a lot of pressures,
That's right.
and people's. It's a delicate mix. It's like you have everybody's personalities, you have everybody's talents, you have all these pressures coming together, and it's kind of like making like a little set, a little,
Pressure stew.
and you're just like, yeah, the pressure, like it gets more and more and more intense, and then at a certain point, you're like, either it combusts in an unproductive way, or it's led in a very productive, like calm way. And so I think, yes, Adam, you did have some pressure,
Thank
time
you.
pressure there. We tried to
But-
do a cool thing.
yeah.
It didn't necessarily work, so we lost a little bit of time at the beginning. And then, but you came in and you were like, great, this is how we'll finish out the day so that we get everything, so that
Luckily,
everybody...
like you and Ilsa were, super cool, and one, you were prepared, which was awesome. I love an actor who is like, I gave you a big monologue that I was like, all right,
It
do
is
it
a big
again and again
monologue.
and again, and you just nailed it every time, and
which
like
was very efficient for our clock.
super impressive, because then we just got to go like, okay, do it again and try this little thing, and it wasn't anything like, all right, oh shoot, all right, miss up
Now you're
take.
gonna have to
Like I don't think
cut
we
that
had any
together or like this or
messed
for
up takes
editing.
to-
You made
yeah.
it like incredibly easy. I mean, from an outside, I didn't edit that one. Adam, how was editing that one?
Very easy, yeah. No, it was
Okay.
so fun because you guys both did so well, and you're both really cool with like, I was like, all right, we got this. We're gonna be a little quicker, and I was like, cool. All right, then we will be. And I really appreciate that. And you, yeah.
I mean, it helps when the writing is good. The monologue.
Sure.
is,
Well, so that was one, like you were talking a bit about earlier with your first 48, where you did like the 12-page,
Yeah.
like all
Sprawling
And that
story.
is, try that again specifically for me was like a big push toward. I do a lot of that where I'm like, naturally, this short film that we're gonna do has to be like kung fu robots, or like we're gonna have
Obviously.
aliens meeting people, and there's gonna be crazy special effects that are all like ones I know how to, but it's like never like a let's have a conversation or something. And I'd recently done one called Infernal Beeping, where I was like, let me try and lock into one room, which I
Which
mostly
was
did.
a cool parameter to give yourself.
And then this, I really wanted to make something that was just like one location, two people talking. And and I'm super happy with how it came out. It was definitely a push for me, but it was also you and Ilsa brought so much to those roles that it made it so interesting, because it's like a 7-minute short film of just you guys going back and forth, and a lot of the words are repetitive and the same by design. Like, so creative with how you did everything, and it made it such a wonderful, wonderful film.
It was super fun.
Nope.
No, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. Obviously I knew what the challenge was, right? Like, I knew what Adam usually makes, and the sorts of stories that we tell are these like sprawling adventures with lots of whimsy and lots of different characters. And like, if there is some sort of like puppet that can go in, or some explosion like of some sort that can be added,
which always adds. I'm still very deep in an editing process for a feature film that is now 5 years in the making.
It's exciting.
Called Margaret and the Alien, and of course had aliens and FBI guys and action scenes, and was
so
filmed
many
all
locations.
over the place.
And
it's close, but it's like because it's one of those things now where I'm like on it, and every last piece of it is like, oh, I have to learn how to do this special effect for this 10 seconds of editing, and as you get to like an hour and a half, you're like, okay, so now I gotta do it over and over. So it's been a process. So it's very refreshing to be like, oh, dialogue and performances are really valid.
Well, and from an acting standpoint, my pocket where I used to live was very evil, very silly, or both. So to start in that like very serious,
ooh, fun,
like that was, that was a comfort zone. And then to pivot to a bunch of silly voices,
also a comfort zone.
Also kind of a comfort zone.
Didn't realize that we typecast you.
Yeah.
But I really like, because we were coming off of Human Condition, and you were very maniacal. You were kind of like a cult leader in that. With
Very
Ilsa
much.
as well. And it was really fun to see how a very different character for you. Like, the opening was not the same, but like more so like a person in power, a little more devious, and then that like switching into this like very vulnerable, like, let me take these notes. Okay, nope, got it. And I thought that was really, really cool.
I mean, the driving thing that I kept in the back of my mind was that this guy is he's not a bad actor.
No.
But he's not, I don't know. But he really believes in it, and he really needs whatever this is. And we're talking in the third person, so that's enough of that.
About that character. You're talking about your character, and I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I felt that.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a guy, you were playing a man who is an actor, who wants to be an actor, who really does want to try to please this casting director, because it would be cool to get whatever the part is. And my favorite question is like, oh, is this role actually going to be a child? Like, are you, because it almost felt like at that point, oh, the whole thing is I'm not even auditioning for a role that exists.
Right.
Like, that was like, and sometimes it does feel like that.
Well, that was something I know we talked about in like even the costuming, which like in my head canon is like we really had Ilsa dressed down. We really had her again to give the appearance that she was like the lower powered person here, but then she takes up the power. But then it's like in on a stage in this venue, like it might not be that big of a role. Like, it might be like an indie film thing, and then like your costume was like you were dressed nicely. We were trying to give you like a true detective kind of look, but then like we talked about your wedding ring, and if you like should keep that on. I was like, yeah, because I like picture this guy like has his whole life like your character had your life way more together than this person, and is like doing this thing, but it like probably has a day job that they like cut out from to like. It was just like a really fun like way to play with all those things. Like giving it your all for maybe, I don't know, like an indie film or
as we do, as the actor life is, which is like what is it? There are no small roles.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite things in general are about, just kind of the things that we all agree to in the different pockets of our society, and like we're all kind of just going off of these, you know, norms and pleasantries. And as soon as anybody decides that, well, I just don't want to do that anymore, like what happens there? Like it breaks down. So the fact that you wrote pretty much that exact thing was really, really fun
No, it's fun to explore,
really
right?
fun to play in, yeah.
Right? But like, did it really break down if there are 3 more dudes standing on those steps?
Right. Yeah. That's
I
the
think
thing.
it's really like, I don't think she's joking when she says, I'll never cast you in anything.
No.
Yeah, but that only has power if you care about being cast.
Exactly.
Right.
And clearly the
do.
dudes on the stairs do. Because they saw it. Like,
did.
that's like the one thing that's like built into the thing is like,
Yeah.
there are witnesses.
Just watching this whole thing.
Just like us watching you and Ilsa's thing, the other actors are also watching what you and Ilsa are doing. It's such an interesting dynamic, which doesn't usually happen. You don't usually get to see
No.
what's going on inside the room. It's more like, it's usually like black box of question mark, and then everybody cycles through.
Sitting outside, just staring at each other in the lobby.
Or trying to make small talk and like, yeah, it's a lot. I was seeing all your doppelgangers. For
Oh yeah, everyone
a
who's like
thing.
kind of your age range.
Everybody who auditions for the
it's
same
you.
parts.
It's you again. Hello.
Yeah. I think that was more of a thing like back in the pre-pandemic times as an actor.
Sure.
Because I think now a lot of it is just self-tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shifted. But then I guess the big piece too is that you did all the music for the film.
Ah.
Which was beautiful. How did you enjoy your experience with that?
Yeah, how was Adam as a person to work with for?
You have to say good.
No, it was great. Before
sure.
we shot it, I wrote a different piece of music. Maybe before there was even a script, and I sent him that. I was like, "This is kind of what I'm," and he wrote back like, "This is great. What about this?" And I was like, "This is actually completely wrong." Once I read the script, because that's actually my favorite part to work on. When I was growing up, that's usually what would lock me into a lot of my favorite movies, was the way they use kind of music as a character to bring everybody in.
Because I remember, like it started to back when we filmed Human Condition. I was the editor, and then you did the music for it, and it was so insanely helpful. I was like gushing about you forever because I was like, I was stacked with all the things that I was doing, and like I was like, duh, I don't know what to do, and you just like send me the music as well as like, hey, and then like a beautifully thought out paragraph or two about like where it should be placed and what you're trying to do with it. And I literally would just slot it to wherever you said, and then it would work. And then you like gave me something else and I put it in a spot and you're like, so I think that it could be, and then you send it there, and then I moved it and it worked amazingly. I was like, this is perfect. Like,
Well, that's born out of other experiences where that didn't. So a knowledge, like having done 48s before, I was like, oh well, it's 4:30, so we're gonna do it or not. So try this, and if you don't like it, do whatever you want. And then also just being in that crunch time. This was my first 48 where we're not like all in a physical place together working on the thing. And that cuts both ways too. If there's too many people in the room, it's a different thing. But also, I would imagine if you were all by your lonesome, just
Process.
filtering
Yeah.
through. No, and the way you edited the montage, especially in that,
that is my
was a
favorite.
really, really great piece of editing. I was very impressed. So it was, and then also scoring things for some of my other friends' films, like the first thing I ever tried to score for something that we weren't making. I was just writing, all this music, and I would send it, and they would be like, "No," which is very much their right. No. That's like they see things a certain way, and that's what it's supposed to be. And we go back and forth, and kind of getting past that hump, where it's like, well, I didn't say it's bad. I don't like it. It just isn't the right thing for this. So trying to learn those things again, what we're doing when we're making 48s, especially because everyone is volunteering their time and kind of just doing it for the love of the game. Any opportunity to be as collaborative as possible and kind of stack instead of, I don't know, slap out the Jenga tile. What's the yeah.
Yeah, you know that classic slap out.
Slap that Jenga.
Slap
I mean,
slap out
it is
that
not-
Jenga tile.
It is
Slap
not
out
a
that
very long
Jenga
Jenga
tile.
game when you are slapping out the tiles, I must say.
Slap out that Jenga tile.
What got you started in music? Is that like since a kid? Did you pick it up at some point?
I grew up, I've been playing the piano since I was 4, and I would do classical competitions through high school.
Okay.
And I love music. I do not love practicing. But if you write your own music,
Then it
You're
doesn't
always
feel
then
like.
it doesn't really matter.
There you go.
So, like,
That's
truthfully,
smart.
that is, and then the more we got involved, like especially in the Odd Locale, Joe and I are in all of them. I like acting, but that's more, it's like, well, I don't have to pay myself. I can just be in that.
Yeah.
And we wrote it, so I kind of know what I want. So,
Oh, that's convenient.
and kind of the same thing for, music. That's, yeah, any opportunity to work on that part of it, I kind of run towards, because there is so much about the production of anything. Like, you can get as granular as you want to, and resources are what they are, and again, just parameters.
Was it like what was the first thing that you scored?
The Odd Locale.
Was that
Okay.
yeah.
And you
Okay.
discovered that was like a big draw.
Yeah, it was my favorite, because you've shot whatever you've shot, and then
Fair.
and the edit and the audio, like we kind of treated that kind of like the 12 for 12. We like set a date and was like, all right, we're going to film all of this and we're going to show it to some people on this date in a theater. So you shot whatever you shot. We were truly a 3-man crew for a bunch of them. For some of them, we had other actors come in and would hire people out, and they all did a great job. But for, budget and everything else, if we didn't get this or that, you can't like paper it over with music, but as a mode of storytelling.
It's shocking to me. It shouldn't be, because it's music and it's the old, but it shocks me sometimes, like how much the music can like really bring out in the performances or in a scene, especially like if done well. Like a serious scene can feel so much more serious, or a tense scene can feel so much more tense. And I've seen it many times where I'm like on the fence of a scene where I'm like, I don't know if this film's even good anymore. Like this is, and then it'll be like put in the music, and I'm like, genius!
It's brilliant.
Perfect, and it's
There are very popular, successful films that have come out in the last 4 or 5 years, and they look really pretty, and the music score is really great, and the other parts are good too. But it's just my favorite part to work on.
yeah. I just this weekend watched F1 finally with Brad Pitt, and there was a scene specifically in that where they're like talking on a Vegas balcony, and they don't really. Like, it's a kind of romantic scene, but they're not like, it's not too deep. And I was like, no one's going crazy on acting, but like felt really nice. And it hit me in that moment. I was like, the music is really like carrying this. Like, this is a kind of a
Hans
low
Zimmer doing
energy.
Nine Inch Nails. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just watched Moulin Rouge for
Sure.
the first time
Oh.
in like ages, right? And I was thinking about it, and it also similarities with some of the Shrek movies from back in the day,
Yeah.
where like the music is like a hodgepodge of some popular things
yeah.
of the time, used in a way, and obviously like with Moulin Rouge, it's the storytelling too. Like they're just literally using the words in the songs to tell the story. But it's interesting because those songs have other associations outside of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like it took me back to like a time period. And I was like, no, I can tell you exactly the first time I saw the scene. I can tell you where I was. I can tell you what's happening. I can tell you like who it was with. I can tell you why it was happening. Like, it was just crazy to be transported. And so I think there is a lot of power in the music, generally speaking, where it's like, oh, you are tapping into a different sense of like how someone can receive it. And then like, you know, my receiving of it is colored by like when and how and why I saw the thing the first time. And then like, you know, like talking about, you know, referring back to like where you're like, oh, I saw this movie this time and it felt this way. And I saw the movie again later in this other context and it felt this way. And I'm thinking, I saw that movie Moulin Rouge when it came out in high school, long time ago, whatever. And it was like, oh, that's a lot of associations with that time period in my life. And now watching it again the other night, I was like, sorry, I know all the words to these songs. And I'll just
Because we
sing all-
can.
I didn't realize I knew all the words. I don't even remember what happens in this movie, but I can sing all the songs. This is bizarre to me. I have no idea. I was literally like, I don't understand why I know this entire movie.
I never thought about this, but I was homeschooled growing up. So in a lot of cases, Moulin Rouge, like seeing these things in movies was the only context in which I interacted with popular music.
Wow.
Like I didn't hear any Michael Jackson songs except the Free Willy song until
later
than most. And yeah, there's a level of because it's all, you know, it's all a magic trick. It's all manipulation. Like,
right.
You're trying to make people feel stuff. But yeah, the Shrek soundtrack was certainly something that I owned.
I mean,
That's so
Came out when I
funny.
was 12.
it harkens back to a
That's
different
right.
era.
Because we just recently watched the Shrek trilogy and had a big Shrek party hosted by my fiance, who, which
He's
was
back
wonderful.
now. What's up with that?
Shrek's returning.
But why?
The internet had it their way with him, and they need to make money off
I
it.
just need to be how old I am. It's okay.
But my favorite thing too was like while we're in the discussions of Shrek and stuff, there was a specific DVD extra on Shrek 2 in which they did Far, Far Away Idol, which was an American Idol parody.
Great.
And it was like each of the side characters and the main characters all go up and sing their rendition of a popular song. And I know most of those songs first from that. And
interesting.
And I was as a kid, so I'm like Hungry Like the Wolf. I know more of the Three Little Pigs and the Wolf singing that. Mr. Roboto by
Interesting.
Pinocchio. There's a lot of those that I'm like, still to this day, the Three Blind Mice thing I can see clearly now.
Yep.
I haven't seen this DVD extra.
It is
But all of
so
those songs
silly.
are like the time and space. So it's so funny how we interact with
Yeah.
with the music. But yeah. Anyway.
There we go.
There's a wistfulness whenever some 90s R&B comes on, and I'm just... I've caught up how I can. I do my best, but just to be in like a sea of people and they know every word, I'm like,
Lost on me.
It's
this is great.
It's how you were.
I'm so happy that
Great for
they're
y'all.
all so happy. This seems like a nice communal
90s
moment.
night is wasted on you.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks
This
for
was really
having.
nice to have you.
Hooray.
It's been lovely.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll work together again and have you on in various capacities, and
I'd love to.
I can't wait to hear if there's anything.
Yeah, is there anything you people should watch out for? Or
To watch out for, there's we got a couple things in the works that I'm doing, kind of writing and music on. So
Cool.
Shouldn't drop too many details, but a lot of our completed work is on YouTube at the Odd Locale at THEODD
They are
LOCALE. This is an audio medium. There's nothing in there. It's all a lie.
Just gonna say, I was like, you finished that before we took the break. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, some of our 48s are on there, and then a full season of a web series that goes to some fun places.
All right.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And cut. That's a wrap, everybody.